Hey y'all, welcome back to Descartes Pod. I'm Jenna and I'm joined by Brian here, my new boyfriend. This is promo to watch the YouTube. I was a little late to the recording because I had to find the perfect photo of him to represent how I feel this week, and it really is it's slaying. I feel like it's the smoking gun of this season. We've seen this face with his makeup on and his hair looking so insane every 5 minutes in the last couple of episodes, and I don't I like if like in 2 years from now somebody was like, can you draw that from memory? I would be able to draw this moment from memory. It's like that's how much I'm thinking about it. And to help me talk about the crazy week of Bachelor in Paradise, please welcome back to the podcast, Tess Higgins.
Yay, so happy to be here and discuss all of this mess.
Yeah, indeed. How are you? You're also a fellow Swiftie, so this week has been just
hmm
a big week for us, chronically online.
Yes, yes. And like Love is Blind UK came
Mm,
out this
mhm,
week as well, which I loved last season, so I'm deep in that right now. Perfect Match finale is on Friday.
mm,
Big week for reality TV and
mhm.
annoying Swifties, so
Yeah,
we love.
exactly. It's a huge week for annoying people.
Yeah.
Oh, good times. But yeah, how are your thoughts on this season of Paradise? I actually referenced you in like maybe 2 episodes ago
Oh,
because I saw one
really?
of your videos where you were like, we like a lot of the things they've made changes to, and it looks cleaner, it's like prettier, inherently a little more entertaining because they're changing up the stuff, but I thought perfectly said like it's still not fixing the problem as far as like how many successful relationships are we going to get from this? Do we know anything about the couples that we do think is gonna like get out
Yeah.
of here, which is Justin Spencer and I
hmm
guess Kat and Dale at this point, but like who
Who
knows?
knows?
So like once she watches that back, it's like, oh my God. But yeah, but I thought that was very astute that you were like, it's like, because I'm really enjoying this season, mostly because it is different-ish, and
hmm
it just is like different drama. But I agree, it's like, what's the point?
Yeah. I mean, I think my overall opinion is that I'm really glad they're experimenting and I think it was time to do that. I don't know if it's the right experiment, but at least they tried. Um, because there's a couple things like again, like I think the way it looks, the
Mhm.
way that it's edited, the way it's shot, like we have like so many different more like slow-mo shots. I actually had one of the camera people come comment on one of my videos and tell me like the exact like lenses and equipment they used because it's all upgraded from what they used to do. So that's like good because every other show is doing that. It's kind of like they were even Survivor has moved on to like doing more like fancy drone shots and slow motion breaking of like ceramic bowls and things like that. And it feels weird that Bachelor hasn't done that yet. It just wanted like the stay in the 2000s. So I can appreciate like cosmetically like the changes that have been made.
Yeah.
Um but making it like Bachelor Pad it's tough. I
Yeah.
mean, I think it would it's just because they kind of half-assed it. Like it would have been, I think, way more interesting if everyone knew going in
Yeah.
that
Right.
there was going to be money involved. Finding out halfway through is a little weird because it feels like they all kind of got duped into playing a game they didn't want to.
Right.
Um, and then it just is making everyone's behavior feel like a little weirder.
Right. And I'm like,
And
I
like
don't
nobody
believe
asked for
anyone.
that.
Yeah, I don't believe
Yeah.
really anyone anymore. I believe Justin Spence, I guess, but like I don't believe Dale's intentions. I don't believe Jeremy's intentions. We'll get into all of that, but like even just on
hmm
like despite the drama that happened, like I don't feel like anyone's really they just want the money. And if anything, I'm like, yeah, Leia and Jonathan should just try to like win it based on friendship,
Yeah.
and I would love it. But yeah, my friend Shannon was on last week and we talked a lot about like maybe like different ways they could tweak this for like next, because like if they continue
hmm
this on, like there's now no surprise, right?
Yeah,
Since we're gonna
exactly.
know. And we were suggesting like an idea of having it be more like in two parts, kind of like they're doing it in two parts, but like the first part is more intentionally known to be you are really dating around, like truly open
Hmm.
season, and then this by the second part you have to like commit to somebody.
Yeah.
And then, but then like halfway through you might be like, oh fuck, I committed to the wrong person. I really feel like I
Yeah.
had a better connection with so and so. And that might be the way to like kind of I don't know.
Yeah. No, I like that too because I think that's more kind of in line with like the Love Island of it all.
Yeah.
Because I think the other problem too is that the rose ceremonies were happening too fast. Like people were going home within 24 hours, which kind of made no sense to me. I was like, I want to see Sam McKinney, villain of Jen's season, be here. Like, you're getting rid of people who are gonna make great television. Like,
Yeah.
why? Why did they have to go so soon?
Yeah.
And now him and
Susie
Allie
should have
Joe
been
are
there
dating anyway.
longer. Yeah, like and Susie should have been I know exactly right. Sam's dating
Yeah.
like an Ally Joe. It's so funny. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's wild. I don't know what to think about it. I mean, it's so interesting because I think this drama that's happening now is like I don't want Bailey to be sad, right? I don't want her to
Hmm.
be hurt. This show has a long history, whether it's intentional or not, although sometimes in previous seasons I kind of feel like it is weirdly intentional by the producers by like kind of like giving these like white mediocre men who were fan favorites like a leg up in who they get to be with and what and when people come around that a lot of times black women in the franchise are left in the in the sidelines as soon as somebody else comes in and it's
The Natasha Parker of it all.
exactly. It's like it's happened
Yeah.
so many times that it's like at some point I'm like, oh my God, I know it's not like quote unquote intentional, but sometimes like it's not. I don't know. But then it's like, well, maybe just the men are just shitty and that's just the world we live in. But so I was like, I'm just like mad that that's happening again on like the surface level. But I will say, like, I've also been interested in this drama. I know it's
Hmm.
cheesy and I know it is forced, and we're gonna talk about your theories about it a lot being it
Oh
like
yeah.
Frankenbitten and stuff, and I think some of what
Hmm.
you say is true, but it's I
Yeah.
mean in some ways I'm like I was sat for it because I like the
Yeah.
idea that like he of all people had more information and was sitting on it and she didn't know. And then also
Hmm.
like I remembered when he told Alex that he made the phone call and I was like, Alex is not gonna come with
Yes.
her? Like what? And then
Hmm.
when it came to bite her in the ass, like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Um, but like, what are your thoughts on it? Because it is like I was rewatching the scenes over and over again, and I agree that we don't see Jeremy. But there was like one moment where I saw like it was like claiming that it was Brian asking, "What would you do if Susie
Hmm.
came back?" And then we get the off-camera, line. Uh,
Yeah.
but you're right. There's a moment later on where some was it Parissa's like, "Did he tell you?" And it's like he
Yeah.
doesn't admit that Jeremy was the one that told him.
Yeah, it's so interesting to me because I think it's one of those cases where I feel like there's a couple things that are true that are like competing with each other. I
Mhm.
think it's true that you know Jeremy made a joke about proposing to Susie, forgot about it,
Mhm.
thought was probably like drunk with Brian kikiing in the room and was like, oh, like, oh, yeah. And then can you believe, like, I almost like, and he's also talking about like in that scene, like, quote unquote, winning. Like, he says, like, oh, I don't want to win with they, like, at this point, the money hadn't even been introduced yet. And so I'm like, what do you mean win? Like, that doesn't make any sense at this point in the
Yeah.
storyline. Um, and so, you know, my best guess as to what happened is that in like the days surrounding the Andrew date, Jeremy was like scorched earth, like a horrible mood, horrible vibes, like rancid attitude,
Yeah.
and didn't handle it well.
No.
And my guess is the producers that entire day were like, keep
Feeding
that man
into
mic'd
it.
up,
Yeah.
keep him mic'd up,
Oh,
like
yeah.
get him saying anything he can, and and my guess is they're still using some of that audio later on,
Yeah.
because it also sounded like there was a producer in the room during that scene, like where Brian's sitting there, because you hear someone like when Jeremy says like like, oh, like I kind of regret my decision. And then you hear another voice say, really? But
Yeah.
the camera's on Brian. I'm like, who's that talking? Like, and it doesn't sound like Brian. And there's not even a little like, it would say like Jeremy, colon said this or
For that
whatever.
one.
There's
Yeah.
no,
Really, yeah.
and so I'm like, someone else is in that room,
Yeah.
and it gets into that kind of thing of like, boy chats and girl chats where the producers get everyone together and it's like, guys, talk about this. And it's not like them actually having conversation with each other. It's them talking to the producer, answering their questions, but it looks like they're all having a conversation. I wouldn't be surprised if that was what was going on either. And I think that, he really screwed up
Mhm.
with the Susie phone call because, I'm sure that was offered to him like, oh, do you want to call her?
Oh,
Do you
I
miss
know.
her that
That's the
much?
thing. And that is the thing. You're right. Like he's just mad.
And that's where he fucked up because
Yeah.
if he was really like, a head swivel on a swivel, he would have been like, I know that's gonna come back to bite me. No way. Like you wouldn't be offering this to me because you're my friend. You're doing it because you want something horrible to happen.
Yeah.
And he should have been like, no, I'm good. I'll talk to Susie in the real world.
Yeah.
And then we wouldn't have any of this. But that was his mistake
Mhm.
and kind of the fallout from that. And it appears to me that like he kind of, eventually got it together
Right.
and like
Yeah.
stopped
He even
thinking
said
about it.
he even said something like, that was like day 4 or day
Yeah.
8, and of course that sounds insane to us,
Right.
but it is true, and it is
Yeah.
the reality in which they are living in. So like I even
Yeah. Yeah.
that and I was like, okay, yeah, like it's fair to have he rightly also says like I was doing Paradise the Paradise way, like it's true.
Yeah.
It just like part of me still I'm like I want to like throw sand in his face because he made a big deal about her going on a date with Andrew.
Yeah. That was the mistake. That was the
Paradise Day.
mistake. And I
He's
think,
a loser, but he's not like. I agree. I think there's just like two things could be, well, probably more than two
yeah.
things are true at once because I think he is annoying and like not a great boyfriend option. But I also don't think he, yeah, was like actively saying as of
No.
yesterday, I'm gonna call
Yeah.
Susie again. Like,
Yeah. And it also might have been that he was telling Brian what he said in the confessional 3 days before. He was like, oh, this was the conversation I had with Charlie or whoever the fuck is, their producer. Like, oh, and I told him I regretted this. But
but
now I've changed my mind. It's very possible that could have happened
yeah,
too.
it's another one of those.
Um,
In that case,
but
Brian has more like leg up to be like, no, I mean, Jeremy did say it to me, but I don't know. It's just
yeah.
it's also that happened in Grant season. Was it that one thing where like the lady?
Oh, Rose.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Um, and that was a weird thing too, because it was like her interpretation of what he said. And even when they played the clip, I was like, I don't think this means anything. Like, it just was like someone thinking or interpreting something different,
right. Yeah,
And I also, you know, get the sense too that Jeremy got treated kind of with kid gloves on Jen season.
yeah,
Like there were so many like diabolical people that the producers were managing that season that they kind of just ignored him.
yeah.
And he probably got off like super easy, like was like, oh, all these producers love me, like Paradise is gonna be so fun. So he was probably very trusting and very like, oh, if they're offering me this phone to call Susie, they will bring her back. They're
And
not bringing her back.
that's
Like,
the Blake Hortzman effect.
yep,
He was golden boy and had
know
a
your
ego.
history.
And exactly, and he goes on, and then when the day he finds fucking Kaylin coming down the sand, you could see in his face like, oh my God, they're not my friends. Like
Yep.
completely, oh my God, I'm being completely set up. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, his crimes were like kind of poopy, but they weren't like that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things.
No.
But
No.
he barely survived that one. But
Yeah.
it's like it's always like that. And honestly, I thought that was gonna happen more to Jonathan. He's kind of like he got an ego
Same.
one season, and I think he's skating by on the ego and the love of the producers. But like,
Yeah.
luckily, he's not being that much of a shitbag.
No. I think if there was someone he like actually really liked,
Yeah,
then maybe he would be. But because he hasn't like really clicked with anyone, they kind of can't
yeah.
they can't do anything, you know?
You can't really fuck him over completely.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean too, I think that, you know, I don't know if you saw like last week, like Jeremy made an Instagram story that was like,
Oh my.
"Hey, at Bachelor, like if you want to like twist my words, like I don't know, it was something like that." And it was interesting because I I kind of think he saw my video before he made that because he liked that video and commented under it and then made the statement um, because
Yes.
it was, and this is the thing too, is like I love this shit. Like I love
Yeah.
being the smart person who can like hear the mess in the way that, because it was the things that he was claiming were like, you know, a misrepresentation were about the cuts of him saying like, I'm only here for the money, like I don't care about Brian, I'm here, you know, blah blah blah. Those were all clearly like,
Yeah.
those are super cut up, and I think he's right to be mad about that, and I think that we should all be able to like recognize that, because I think it's the yes and of it all. It's like, yes, the calling Susie and the fallout, huge mistake,
Yeah. But
and
yeah.
they're also making him look worse than he actually is.
Oh, it's so
Like,
true.
and I think that it's kind of like getting out of hand too. Just like with the fan response feels so extreme this season compared to others. Like people are leaving comments on Bailey's page being like, you need to love yourself more, like blah blah blah. I'm like, she's not your friend, dude. Like, let it go.
I don't understand. I've literally
Yeah.
been covering this show for like almost 10 years now, and it's fucking
Mm-hmm.
psychotic. I need another hobby, but and I've even been quite intense, right? Like I've even been
Yeah.
put into it where like I have a whole list of people who've blocked me in the franchise. Because
Amazing.
I've just but not because I was harassing them in the those kinds of ways, but because
Mm-hmm.
I was harassing them in the way that I would tag them and be like, "Oh, so you like Trump?"
Oh yes, of course.
Okay, so you want a fit shot? Or like to Noah, I'm like, oh, so you're having a super spreader event like 2 weeks into the pandemic?
Right. Oh my God, I
You know,
remember that.
shit like
Jesus.
that. So, I have like a long list of people. Well, my favorite one is Peter's mom blocked me
Not Sweetnums.
because she was like, she was like he was like dating one of the girls again from his season as he did like all five of them, or like, he kept going back for more, right?
Hmm.
And then like, oh, so he was dating Kelly, and she um like I made a meme about how she's yelling that he's getting laid again because her thing was always like every time they talked about him having sex 4 times in the windmill, they would be clapping and all.
Yes.
And I'm
Yes.
just like, okay, this is like a little weird to be like applauding your son getting some. And so I like
Yeah.
made some meme about that, and then I think I tagged her. Yeah, I probably did. I was toxic back then, and she blocked me anyway. But I was just like, you were the one who was promoting your son having sex. Like, I don't see what the problem is.
You were just telling the truth.
Some people don't like truth tellers. Um,
No.
Anyway, but yeah, what were we saying? Oh yeah, yeah, no, but I have all of that to say, like, I still never have understood why people are like really treat it like to that
No.
level and like
Yeah.
so disrespectful to the people and mostly the women and mostly the women of color.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because it's like, why are we saying this to her? You know, like, and also specific, like most people were going after Alex too, you know, for
It's
saying like, why didn't you tell your friend? There we go. Like it's like, and I think too, you know, I made a video about this today that both Bailey and Jeremy commented on. So I was like, let's go. I'm getting the scoop.
yeah.
Um, but I'm seeing a lot this week of like, you know, both in like the sense of, okay, well, I would never take him back if I was Bailey, or like if I was Alex, I would have told her as soon as my head hit the pillow. And I'm like, I just don't think you can compare what you would do in your real life to how these people act on a show that is intended to breed irrational behavior. Why are we shocked these people are acting irrationally? Are you not having fun? Are you not having fun with the discourse and talking about it and watching it?
Yeah.
Do you want them all to be best friends and have no drama?
No, that's
What
what
would
I'm
we
saying.
be watching?
Yeah,
Like,
that's I'm like that's what I said. Like I'm sad that Bailey was potentially sad in that moment and everything
yeah.
and getting harassed now, but like I've been living for it. I'm just gonna have my little podcast. We're gonna talk about it normally, and like, and on my stories, me and my girlfriend were having a good time, being like, "Oh my
Right.
God, Alex, you go tell her." But it wasn't like we were like, "Fuck Alex," like,
Yeah, and it's also not like you're going directly to Alex's page. Like I saw Alex posted a TikTok that went like viral for it was a non-bachelor TikTok. It was like her doing a trending sound and all the comments are like you're a bad friend. And I'm like this is a video about the school year starting. What are you doing here? Like,
Jesus, oh my God.
and like it's just I think it people feel like because we can see all their content because they're on TikTok and Instagram and interacting that like we deserve access to them and it's not you know that's weird.
That's weird.
And that's also too why like I've never directly like reached out to any of them.
Right.
Any bachelor person has always DM'd me first, and then I'm like, all right, it's safe for me to engage, but I'm not gonna bother you. Like,
Hmm.
that you live your life. If you're brave enough to put your reputation on the line. And I also feel like too, kind of going back to what you said about like how it's oftentimes the women bearing the brunt of this, and especially the women of color. It's like there are so many rancid people in this franchise that are like actually worth the smoke.
Yeah,
Like,
literally.
Devin,
Devin.
Chris Harrison,
Yeah, Chris Harrison.
Becca's Garrett, like so many people that are worth really like
Hmm.
getting into for stuff that we know that they did and
Yeah,
that they have fully like owned.
yeah,
Um, and yet we're like more mad at Bailey.
right.
We're more mad at Alex. Like it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, like
Um,
literally leave a hate comment every day on all of the Garrett's
yeah.
posts. I encourage it. No.
Garrett's are cursed in this franchise.
Yeah, we used to have a sticker for the podcast that said hashtag no more Garrett's.
Oh my God.
Because it was
True.
3 in a row. Lee Garrett was the racist on
Yep.
the season.
Hmm.
Becca's Garrett, and then Hannah's Garrett is also.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hannah's Garrett was crazy.
Yeah. Ugh, he had a gun with Trump's face on it.
Never saw that. Wow.
Um, so yeah, agreed, hard agree, and just enjoy the fun, people. There's no reason to get crazy on it. Because also we don't know everything, and I cannot believe it. In 2025, after how many years of this franchise, we're still like completely like not seeing that there's editing happening and like some kind of
Yeah.
or another.
And I
It's like,
think too, it's people are really resistant to that because even sometimes like I'll get people being like, well, he said that. And I'm like, hey, go watch my old video and look at the clip
yeah, like
and then come back and tell me whether you still think that's a certifiable like piece of evidence. And they'll be like, no, I still don't like him. And I'm like, people just
yeah.
are so resistant because they want to be justified in their anger and their hate. And if they acknowledge that not everything they see is an accurate representation of events, then they have to lose some of their judgment. And I don't think people want to do that. People
Wow.
don't want to feel wrong about who they hate, you know?
Well said.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's like there's I don't know. It's just a little and it's more fun when you kind of like can like
Hmm.
see into it a little bit more. At least that's like what makes it fun for me.
Hmm.
Um,
Well, I do think
but I mean
no, go ahead.
they even there was I don't know if you saw the deleted scene from this episode. Oh my God, it's on YouTube and it's of Jeremy apologizing to Bailey and like giving her a note or something. And they didn't put it in the episode. And it's like, wouldn't that have been like, that would have helped his image to put this like, oh, I did a nice gesture for Bailey to try to win her back. We kiss and made up. Doesn't even make the episode.
No.
Like it's all like on purpose. So that's the proof right there that they have things that can change your perspective on someone and they kind of decide what they want everyone's perspective of
No,
them to
absolutely.
be.
There's always like the villains who win and they're like, "Wait, you were a villain?" But it's like,
Crystal Nielsen, my
yeah,
favorite of all time.
yes.
Glitter Gang.
So good.
She was a star.
She was a star. I know we need girls like her.
I know.
I feel like Maria was trying to go for her, but like in a
Yeah.
which was really nice.
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, I think a lot of times it does, like, not to make it so political again, but I feel in that mode because of the world we're currently experiencing. But
Hmm.
a lot of times those fans are just frank. I mean, it's not all because there are definitely some progressive ones that get like that too, but they are often the ones that are on the other side and who just do not want to look at not like extra information, because if they have to admit that there might be weird editing and things like that, they have to think about their own narratives and their own
Yeah.
things, and it's just like frustrating because there's a huge part of the fan base that is having fun with it. That was most of my point, is that
Yeah.
like you said, I think it's more fun to consume it and with a little bit more of a critical lens, and I know
Yeah.
everyone else that I really engage with is the same,
Hmm.
and maybe that's just an echo chamber of the progressive side of Bachelor Nation, but I mean, there you are.
But I mean, I think that, and it's also like an age thing too,
Yeah, yeah.
because I know, the audience of like Golden Bachelor is much older, and I feel like the kind of comments I would get on my Golden Bachelor videos would be like, but no, what about blah blah blah, or like I hate chalk, or and it's just like the most insane comments, and I'm like, this is like talking to a brick wall. Like Lisa in Alabama is not going to hear me no matter what I put on this screen, and that's okay. My content's not for everyone,
And you're
but
like,
I
how
mean,
did you
because I
even get
think
on this app?
yeah, because I think like my overall kind of goal is like because I'm a big advocate in general for like reality TV people just like getting more respect and better treatment and better payment and conditions
Yeah,
overall
yeah.
because they do so much work for free.
Yeah.
And I think more people would align with that if they were aware of what was happening or if they just like had more empathy
Right.
for what they were going through, and I think that um that doesn't even have to be seen with like some of the more like toxic things we're seeing on our screen. That could even be like at a very base level, like you know having empathy for someone like Leia who walked into the game too late and now has like nobody to really hang out with.
Yeah,
Like that's a bummer too.
it is.
And then it's not that like, oh, nobody wants Leia, it's
No.
that she came in late,
Yeah, exactly.
so it can be applicable to many different things. And that's why I'm always like, that I wait to make my final judgments until I know everything I can. After the reunion,
Yeah.
that's when we can really get into who to say certain things about, which apparently there is going to be a reunion. So
Good. I was gonna ask because like somebody asked me the other day, and I was like, I'm not sure. I hope so, but sometimes we don't get it. But
yeah, one of the I won't
yeah.
reveal any names. I told them all I'm a safe space.
Good. Exactly.
But one of them told me like a couple of weeks ago, like, oh, probably not because like the ratings are so bad and like everyone knows like how over manipulated the season is, like,
Yeah.
and then they'd all have to answer for that because that's what we're upset about. But then Reality Steve said that he heard that they're filming it either like maybe today or tomorrow,
Yeah.
which would be interesting, and I would like to see that,
Yeah.
especially because it kind of seems like a lot of the couples are still together and are being quite obvious about it.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, that's kind of the paradise way too. I feel like a lot of times I haven't been paying enough attention lately with my new job that,
Hmm.
but like I remember in past, there's always been a little bit like you kind of know who's still together or not, from Paradise.
Yeah.
But I mean, not, yeah, no, I think that ultimately, unfortunately, things have not changed enough, I think, in this space that
Hmm.
producers are that afraid, that the cast members are going to say stuff about them on live television because they have this like this contract and stuff. Like
Hmm.
I know that things are changing, and I hope it does get to that way because it seems like Nick Thompson, right? Is that his name?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
He's done a lot of great work in it and things like that. But
Yeah.
I still think like, oh, they wouldn't want to do it because they'd have to answer for their crimes. I don't think they're going to answer for their crimes anytime soon.
No, they won't. Yeah, and even if they did bring that up, they'd cut it out.
That's the thing. Is like, what do you? Is unless it's live, and even then, there's
Yeah.
still like an era of like when they've done that Love Is Blind live. It was still just like a shit show, and they will just
Yeah.
not invite certain people. you know?
Right. And I mean, I think the only the one thing I've heard that like actually makes sense for like getting that kind of result, I
Hmm.
Game of Roses talked about this, is like at the reunion, you would have to like unionize the whole cast among
Yes.
yourselves, including whoever the star couple is. Like Spencer and Jess essentially would need to be in on it. And
Right.
you would all have to agree, like, we're not going to say anything. We'll sit here for the full 8 hours. We're not going to say anything unless you let us talk about X, Y, and Z,
Oh, yeah.
and you air it. Which, I mean, if everyone agreed to sit there and do nothing, then I guess that could work. But I'm sure they'd find a way to be like, oh, well, then that means you're not fulfilling your contract obligation. We can all sue you for like, $1 million or whatever that you don't have.
Right.
Um,
And then maybe like
so
half of them would be
yeah,
like, "Oh, that's bullshit," but there's always, I mean, I just don't feel like that is, yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah.
that would be so beautiful. I would
And
love
how, that,
that.
and
Oh
they
my
honestly should let them do it because that would be incredible television.
vision. Absolutely.
That's how you get your ratings up.
I know. I just don't want
Let
to
them go rogue.
realize that. Like this show is such a dying dinosaur, and that it's just there's no way you can get the original magic back. And now the only magic you can really find, in my opinion, is this like juicy, like meta, like drama that happens. And you know, I know it's not going away. People are like, "Oh, it's going away." I'm like, I think it's gonna stay in a way.
It's gonna live forever
It
probably
is.
because I think that it's still such a niche audience that like those advertising dollars are valuable.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Even if it's like at a very
No,
minuscule amount.
no, for sure.
But
But yeah.
I'm curious what it would be like if it ever went to like being a streaming only show, like a Love is Blind or something like that. Like would that change the audience?
I mean, I think that the idea of having more episodes to watch in one bunch would actually is like maybe a positive. Like I think that
Yeah.
if I knew that next week I had 4 episodes to watch and then I could recap it and then
Yeah.
the next week I have the additional 4 weeks 4 episodes to watch, I would do it. I mean,
Yeah.
this is like an element, it removes the, well, maybe not. I feel like for a while it felt like it removed the water cooler talk of it all, which was very
Mm-hmm.
key to Bachelor's success early,
Yeah.
and it's standing power in my opinion. But I think that at the same time, Love is Blind and other things still has that. It does still eventually have that water
Yeah.
cooler talk, at least on other like on TikTok and things like that. People are
Right.
still talking about it, but it's different too because then I'll just be like, "Oh, did you watch this season of Queer Ultimatum?" And then somebody's like, "No." So
Mm-hmm.
it's just like it's but then I guess maybe some people aren't watching The Bachelor either in its current standing, so
Yeah.
maybe it would be worth doing to change it up that way. And you get it could be sexier because Yosef's daughter is not watching.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. We could like say some curse words too, you know.
Like
We
what?
know they all are. So, um yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of it too is like casting.
Mm-hmm.
Um
Hmm.
and like I don't think you can truly fix Bachelor in Paradise without like fixing your casting problem first, which is that I think they have a really hard time casting
Yeah.
guys that seem like a catch. And I think that I guess there is sort of like a net positive in terms of like online engagement and chatter about the shows if you cast guys who are gonna like come off poorly
Yeah.
because your audience
Yeah.
is mostly women and we all want to point and yell and be like bad,
That's
or
what I
like
live
that guy
for.
reminds me of my S,
That's
like,
literally
and
what I
there's
live
Brian's face, um but at the same time it's like, wouldn't it be nice if it was a little more evened out and we had some more Spencers,
for. Or Dottie,
because
like Carolyn
especially when we're
Johnson.
watching The Bachelorette,
Yeah.
like we like want to see her with people who are gonna be like safe for her to be around. Um, which means making sure nobody has a restraining order, among many other things.
Hmm.
And, I think it's actually a really great step that it sounds like they're casting the next Bachelor like completely someone who's not been on the franchise before.
Oh, right.
Um,
Oh, right.
because I
Right.
think I think that could breathe some new life into it. No one's gonna have any like preconceived notions. Honestly, they should kind of do it with someone like who has no social media. Like
Mm,
someone who's just like a guy in like Wisconsin who works for like, I don't know, Deloitte or something, has a really nice family and a dog
literally.
and a sister who is super super cool
Yeah.
and see what happens. Like, I don't know.
God, it would be
The
lovely.
Bachelor used to be like a real catch.
Yeah, exactly. Like Chris Soules in his own way was because he did
He
have,
was a niche catch.
yeah, he was niche. He didn't have like social media. Well, social media was
Yeah.
also way different back then, of course.
Yeah,
But
100%.
like he was just a farmer and he had property and he had a business. I mean, like I was like, okay, I understood.
Landowner.
I didn't believe half the women, but like I understood the women who were like, this would be so great to just like move
Yeah.
this land and like live a life with him. But he just got bit by the fame bug and
Hmm.
you know, gosh, or all the things that happened. But yeah, no, I know. It's like, oh, it's so weird. I feel like there could be a way where a true catch could be there that is not known.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what happened with Gary, you know, lightning in a bottle in that sense. I guess it didn't work out in the end, but so was
Hmm.
Gary of Golden Bachelor.
Yeah.
And but I kind of loved it. I did love that I didn't know who he was.
Yeah, same. That was incredible.
Yeah.
And that's how it is every time we start a new like Love Island or Love is Blind. It's
Yeah.
like we don't know any of these
Right.
people.
Right.
And I think we're the better for it.
So true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Um,
make sure they don't have restraining orders.
and I think another thing too that Paradise could do is bring in people from other franchises, like how Perfect Match did this year, because then, maybe it'll bring a different audience in, and then it's also not everybody you already know. And it's also not everyone the cast already knows because they're probably all DMing like, oh, are you going? Are you going? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be cool if they showed up and then it's like, oh, some guy who got like eliminated week 3 on Survivor is here?
Yeah.
Put him in a dating show. Why not? Like,
And then I don't know, have a competition where the audience votes on a random
mm,
person, not like but like a rant like there's like a list of hot
yes.
singles and we get
Like on Facebook, like whoever gets the most
yeah,
likes on
yeah.
Facebook. Yeah.
It's dropped in week 2 in Paradise and it's just like, oh,
Audience choice. Yeah.
you know, we were talking about how audience choice wouldn't be good in a lot of ways, because our franchise fandom is so racist.
Oh,
But I think if it's not like the whole cast and it's not la, 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 it could be, and it's like it's just like a random like throw in could be fun, you know?
yeah. And I even think that Bachelor in Paradise Canada did kind of do a little fans and favorites sort of thing.
I think so, yeah.
Um, yeah, so it's not like it's unheard of.
Yeah.
And what's the other thing I was gonna say? It it missed me. It went
And
away.
it was probably the perfect answer to all of our problems. No, I'm kidding. I love that you've never like we only talked about one thing that happened in the episode, and honestly,
I
that's
know.
all I wanted to talk about anyway, because we still have a lot more episodes. I'm a little annoyed. It's like the entire month of August. I have things to do. Um,
It's interesting. And what was the other relevant thing? I mean, that was kind of the whole plot of the episode. The challenge was kind of bullshit. Because what's the point? Like, no one wants to rendezvous at this point. That would have been fun like week 1 or week 2. Um, but I also don't know why they aren't making the challenges messier because it's more about like, oh, do you like the same things as this person likes? Instead of like, who do you think here is the fakest?
right. Yeah.
Like, that would start fights. You don't even have to get Jeremy to call Susie at that point. It's like, who do you wish you coupled up with? Write it on a board, and now you have to show it or whatever. Like, and then when you show it, Bailey gets to throw a pie in his face or something. Like, give us that. Hire me.
Yeah.
I'll write the games for you.
Please, Desire does. Yeah, I think that like the survivor element at the end of them voting off, a
Hmm.
guy was partially interesting, but again, I'm just like it was a little predictable that they probably were not going to send Brian home.
It feels like it's just they're all getting the Goldens out.
Yeah.
Because I think they're all kind of annoyed that they're there. I get the sense like that they think they're fun to have around, but I think they realize too that like all the Goldens are excellent on camera.
Yeah.
They're so just like here for fun
Yeah.
that like that reads really well on all of them, that they're not taking anything too seriously. And it's just like what's up, what's good? Like, I'm gonna do a body shot off of April. Like, it's who cares? And I wonder if there's some sort of realization among the cast of like, they're stealing all our screen time, get them out of here.
Positive screen time too. Like no
Exactly.
one's sending anyone any hate mail.
No, yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Um,
Yeah, that's so
but
real.
I am excited for it looks like next week is Sean and Alicia are gonna go off on Cat and Dale.
Yes.
Um, that's kind of what I've been waiting for because allegedly Andrew said on a podcast that Sean is about to be the biggest villain in Bachelor in Paradise history.
Right. And
And
then
I'm like,
there's those scenes where like Dale's like, don't question my whatever. Yeah, like okay,
yes.
great. Oh my
He
God.
was like, I wouldn't say that to my worst enemy, or something like
There's
that.
something, yeah.
And then there's a clip of Alicia clapping and being like, give it up for the Emmy Award winning performance. I'm like, what happened?
Wait,
What are they talking about?
okay, wait.
There's like, because there's been no build up to this
No.
either. We've been so focused on like Jeremy and Bailey that like I'm sure there's this whole other brewing conflict that I would also like to know about.
So true. So true. Well, tune in next week, folks, on this season of Bachelor in Paradise. Written and produced by Jesse Palmer, who I believe he deserves an Emmy for the
I think so. For the I Know What You Did Last Summer Alone.
yeah, it was amazing. I
Yeah.
hope they finish it. Like I don't think they finished it, but like I need to know that Wells was the killer. Like or maybe he
Yeah,
wasn't. I don't know. Oh,
absolutely.
have to.
Great work all around.
It's just, and then you know what? And fuck everybody for making me kind of agree with Wells at one point in the episode. He had his moment to shine. And Brian's,
I know. I feel like everyone all felt the same. We were like, why? Why are we agreeing with Wells? I don't like this. Like,
that doesn't feel good. He's because he's there, and I was like, okay, do something about it then, Wells. Say something.
like he could get in the mess.
Yeah,
I don't know. I
he's
don't.
a
They don't
jerk.
let him tell. Wouldn't that be incredible? The producer should have let Wells tell Bailey. He should have jumped over. He should have stolen Brian's thunder.
Yeah.
And then imagine all of the cast being mad at Wells. That I think could have been fun because, like, he's not going anywhere. He's going to stay there the whole time. They can't just vote him off like they could vote off Brian. So,
I love that. That'd be a great idea. Well, good times. Well, thank you so much, Tess, for
oh
coming
my
on
gosh,
and
of
talking to
course.
me about it. I was like seeing all your videos. I was like, I need to talk to her stat about this drama.
Nice.
So thank you.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me. It's always fun to talk about it with someone who gets it.
Exactly.
It's ready to talk about it the way that I like to talk about
You're so
it.
sweet. I know. I was
Instead of my mom well, no, because my mom's gonna listen to this, she loves it, but she'll be like, didn't they just sound terrible? And then I'm like, oh mom, like rewatch the clip, like you know but she's learning, she knows things.
oh yeah, exactly.
She's an educated queen.
Yeah, we eventually everyone starts to see in between the cracks. Yeah, no, I love it, and I love chatting with somebody who gets it as well. Letting everyone know where they can find you, and maybe still watch your independent.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It's on Apple, Amazon, and Tubi. Watch on Tubi because it's free there.
Yeah.
You'll get the ad breaks, which honestly I don't know where they are. That's kind of interesting to me to put ad breaks into a movie. But go watch it there, especially if you like all this meta stuff and all the like producery, like behind the scenes. I am eagerly hoping some of the cast will watch it. Because I would love to hear if they relate to any of the themes, but it's a kind of dark comedy about the final five women on a Bachelor-like show, and it's called Him, not the Jordan Peele one.
Watch that as
Sadly,
well, but not that one.
we support all filmmakers here, but mine's there now. Anyway, you can also find me on TikTok and Instagram. I don't really post Bachelor stuff on Instagram, but I do it on TikTok. Tess Higgins, and join the fun.
Definitely do that, y'all. I really highly recommend it. And next week, stay tuned for hopefully a little bit more drama that is not causing Bailey to cry. And
Yeah.
excited to see Dale cry. I'd love to see him cry.
Let's get some male tears.
Exactly. Probably, please. I'm thirsty. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next week. Stay salty.
Bye.